get started,
Right.
Gina.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Lovely to see you all. Lovely to be able to reconnect with you and share some really good cooking ideas with you to help you look after the amazing machine that we all live in.
Absolutely.
So you're going to take us away, Jerry?
So yeah, listen, I've decided because for those of you who've got the newsletter and perhaps seen Gordon's little videos, I don't know how many of you have or haven't, but pumpkins have been the main part of our harvest, although we've had an enormous amount of other things. So we're harvesting cherry guavas and lots of, these are his favourite, and I've just gem squash. They're a South African sort of delicacy, kind of smaller pumpkin that he loves. I don't kind of get carried away over, but anyway, he likes that because he eats them all and I bypass those. But
I think he's being a bloke, and because they produce heat, I think it's good.
He just steams them up. Anyway, it's all on his little video, which was at the bottom of the newsletter that we've sent out to you. So, but for me, it's pumpkins, and this one here, sitting up here, has been harvested from our garden, and I have chopped up a whole lot, which is going in our recipe. So, for those of you who want to follow the recipe along, it was on your newsletter. Apparently, I hope you found that you could just touch the photo and up would pop the recipe. But we've just been researching, because I've called this a pumpkin Thai laksa, and we've just been researching what laksa is. And laksa is, we thought, Gina?
Well, we thought it was a Thai thing, didn't we, with kaffir limes. That's what we thought.
Yeah. So, but actually, it's an Eastern dish, but it's more relative to noodles. So it's spicy noodles. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily have to have the kaffir lime. So maybe I'm calling this tonight the Thai laksa, but because it hasn't got noodles in it. But anyway, a pumpkin Thai laksa is what we've called it. So this is what happens when you just create recipes, and then you've just got to create a name. So, okay, so to my pan, I'm going to add some chopped pumpkin. I'm going to start with a little dash of water. So this is me sauteing without the oil. So, Gina, I thought I had I do. No, I do. So into my pan, I'm putting some chopped diced onion, which is a great way to start. And that's going to come to the oil shortly. So it's just a slight saute. And to that, I'm adding some garlic. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen garlic like this. This is like a whole clove, rather than this type of garlic, which is, many cloves in the one bowl. So this is, we have actually grown some of this and some of that, but this is really easy. So the equivalent of 4 cloves is just one of these bowls. So in the recipe, we've got 4 cloves, and I'm going to chop this in half and then put it through my crusher. So you can see what's going on here.
And it's just as potent as the other garlic, isn't it?
Yes, it's very potent.
So sometimes that elephant garlic is not as strong, it's more watered down flavour, isn't it? But this
is that what it's called?
Well,
elephant garlic?
I don't think it's elephant garlic, but elephant garlic, which is like the normal garlic, but bigger, but the flavour is not as strong. Whereas this here, while it's big, it still has the flavour as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells really strong when I was
it's very strong.
I'm impressed, actually.
So we were looking at the food value in garlic, and we have promoted it, and particularly at this time, because we've been sort of with the issue with COVID and keeping our immune system strong. Garlic is a #1 antioxidant, and Gina is going to be using garlic in her recipe too. So maybe you want to talk about the rest of the food value that garlic has.
Well, garlic is actually, while it's got a lot of antioxidants, as Kerry said, it's also got a lot of vitamin C. You can believe that. You can getting vitamin C, but garlic has actually got a lot of vitamin C in it. So obviously that's good for immune resistance, making you strong against bugs and germs, including little COVID ones.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of manganese in it. And that's really important for all the chemical reactions in our body. And our body's just doing heaps and heaps of chemical reactions all the time. And to do that, you need manganese. So it's been carefully included in the garlic bowl. So not only is it good for you, it tastes fabulous as well. Keep them making these.
Okay, so I'm adding to this now some grated ginger, and I'm very liberal with that. Ginger is another amazing food for food value. We haven't kind of noted all the food value of ginger, but it's an amazingly good food as well. So, and it's amazing how many Asian foods start with garlic, onion, and ginger. Garlic, onion, and ginger all the time. So that's now nicely sauteed without any oil. For those of you who want to keep your fat level down, you can actually saute quite nicely without oil, and it's better for you. So
it still smells good.
yeah, it's smelling great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so to that I'm adding, I've got the equivalent of 2 cups of water in here that I'm now adding into the pan, and then simply to that I'm going to add a couple of cubes of the famous, you've all heard me speaking about the methyl, which is a stock, which is a healthy stock. It reads well, it's low sodium, but it's great for flavouring our type of food.
Completely
so I'm
plant-based, no animal products.
That's right, that's right.
So what flavour are you using?
I'm
what
using
flavour?
the chicken, the methyl chicken.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
But you can actually, I do make this dish with the vegetable one as well.
Yeah.
I've just selected the chicken one tonight, but you can,
Thank
the
you.
vegetable one's very nice as well. Yeah. So that's going in and it's just simmering away nicely. To that, I'm going to add, oh, that's very clever, isn't it? I'm going to put, I said in the recipe a quarter of a pumpkin, but you just basically see my pan size. I'd say it is a quarter of a pumpkin to put in here for a meal for 2. So that's all going in. And what else do I need? I need my kaffir lime. So kaffir lime, who's familiar with kaffir lime? You can actually, yeah, Jenny's got it, yeah. Okay, well you buy kaffir lime well I've been buying it frozen from the Asian shops, the Asian supermarkets. So they have it frozen in their freezers, and it keeps in your freezer beautifully, and it's a magnificent flavour, isn't it?
Yes, it's like nothing else. The funny thing about kaffir lime too is that normally with a lime shrub, you use the fruit, the little green fruit.
Yeah.
You know, that is what you use in the cooking. But the kaffir lime, you don't use the fruit. The fruit's a little wee hard green ball that's of no value, but the leaves you use. So it's quite different to your normal citrus way you use the plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kaffir lime is their flavour. So the 2 flavours mainly are the methyl chicken stock and the kaffir lime, and then into this lovely mix goes a can of coconut milk, 400 mils of coconut milk.
Not coconut cream you would use.
No, I don't like coconut cream because it's much fattier. And I did always used to use coconut cream, not convinced that coconut milk would do it, but it actually does do it, and it's not as fatty. So yeah, I just feel better about using that. And then the last thing that I'm going to pop in is basically the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of tamari soy sauce. So who's familiar with the tamari? You can just use another sort of soy sauce, but it's tamari. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So and it is available at the supermarket. It's a little bit dearer, but it reads a bit better. It's not as high in sodium. So yeah. Anyway, your choice. You can get the low sodium soy sauce. So I actually like the flavour of tamari as well.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's sort of sharp, I reckon.
No, it's just yummy. So I haven't got a tablespoon, so I'm just using 3 dessert spoons. But yeah, a tablespoon, 3 dessert spoons of tamari. And now I'm going to let that simmer. So basically it needs to simmer just until the pumpkin is softer. Not mush, just soft. So you really got to keep an eye on it. But I would say simmering for about another 15, 20 minutes should do it. So while that's simmering, I'm going to hand over to Gina, and she's going to do her little recipe, one of her recipes. So I'm going to take it over here and carry on, Gina.
Sure. Well, actually, it's not one of my recipes. It's a recipe that Kerry pointed out to me last week. And I thought, well, this is a strange recipe. It's to make some crackers. I don't know if you saw it in the newsletter. But when I saw that and I saw the ingredients, I thought, how's this going to work? It just didn't look like it would make a cracker. But it does. So I'm going to show you. Let's go. So basically, we start with a whole lot of seeds, which I've measured out here. So I've got my bowl. And we start with 1 cup of sunflower seeds. So there they go. And then 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin kernels. Pumpkin kernels are really great. They've got a lot of iron in them, and as a plant-based eater, you know, I think it's good to use pumpkin kernels. But you've got to be careful you don't overdo pumpkin kernels. I remember when I was younger, about 18 or so, hearing that pumpkin kernels have got a lot of iron. I thought, well, that's good. So I had a whole lot, and actually I had too much. Yeah, I actually gave myself hives. Yeah, I actually got a rash.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. I mean, this amount for making crackers is fine, but you can overdo it. And like anything, you've got to make sure you get the balance is right. Yeah. So 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin kernels, and they've got good, as I say, good levels of iron. Also lots of protein, of course. Protein's not hard to find in a plant-based diet, actually. It's very easy to find. Iron is a trickier one. Magnesium, which is really good for us, helps with sleeping, I understand. And potassium. And potassium is really important, one of the most important minerals in our body. And it's really important for helping us to defend our bodies against stroke and type 2 diabetes, would you believe? Yeah. So, and also kidney stones. And my father had kidney stones, and he said kidney stones was the worst experience he's ever had in his life. And I've heard an elderly lady I know, she had kidney stones, and she said, Gina, kidney stones is worse than having a baby. Now that's saying something. That was really saying something. So yeah, get your potassium, and your pumpkin seeds.
Did we say zinc as well? They're very high in zinc, and they're also very good for prostate for men. Anyway,
right. And zinc is good for your immune system, isn't it, Kerry? Is it right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So lots of good reasons to put pumpkin seeds in your diet. Okay, then I've got the good old sesame seeds. There's 1/2 cup of those. So you can see why this looks like a strange recipe. 1/2 cup of chia, and actually it's the chia that's the glue, as you can imagine. So the chia is going in. 1/2 cup of those.
And there will be some, oh sorry, carry on.
And 1/4 cup of linseed.
Yeah, so those two are very good binding.
Very good,
Very good at binding.
Right.
Very good in the omega-3s and 6s for your seeds, for your chias.
Okay, right, good. And now we're going to put some flavouring in. We're going to put in some onion powder, and the recipe, I don't actually have onion powder, but this time I'm going to put some in. I love the smell of onion powder.
So, yes, like we're smelling perfume. But listen, where do you get your onion powder from?
I've just got it from New World Supermarket, just the New World brand. Yeah.
Okay.
So a good heat spoon of that goes in, onion powder, and my favourite herb, oregano. A good lump, a good.
Do you grow it?
No, I don't. It's food frost tender, so I've never had success growing it. There's a furry one you can grow, oregano, but it's not the fine non-furry one.
I think I've got oregano in there. I picked some.
It's not.
They're frost sensitive.
Right. Okay. There's another one. It's not marjoram, is it? Marjoram and oregano look alike.
Okay.
And it's not marjoram. It's nice, but it's not as nice as oregano. Oregano's got just a bit.
She knows all that. She's an oregano queen.
And of course, garlic powder. Look at that. And now the thing with this is you can put as much of these flavourings as you like. If you don't like garlic, don't put any in. If you like garlic, put lots in. You know, the same with the onion powder, oregano. You can flavour it how you like. You might like to try maybe smoked paprika. Of course, I'm going to put some salt in. Kerry, just look over there.
No, we do need some salt.
Yeah, it does need some salt. So you can flavour it. In fact, I thought when I was driving here, maybe you could flavour it with maple syrup, not have the garlic and the onion, have a sweet cracker. I might try that actually. Yeah. So I'm just mixing all these dry things together, and then I'm going to add the water, 1.5 cups of water, and that's it. It's very strange, this recipe. So you just put that in there, and then you just mix that all up, and then you leave it for about 15 minutes. As it happens, and it does change a little bit, because like it is there, you wouldn't think that is going to make a cracker at all. You wouldn't think that at all. But as it happens, I do have over here.
She happens to have
I just
some.
happened to have over here, some I did half an hour ago, and
Look
now
at
it's
that.
gone like this. If you can see, it's all sort of
Yeah,
tucked together. Yeah,
that is
yeah.
the chair and the
And that's the chair and the linseed too, do you think? Okay, right.
Definitely
Yeah,
the
yeah,
linseed.
yeah.
It gets glutinous even when it's whole.
The linseed does.
But you could
Wow,
actually
okay.
grind that and add it in.
Well, you
That
could,
way you
yeah.
get the better food value, because linseed as a whole seed just passes straight through. It will be acting as a binding agent, but if you grind it, which I don't think would make any difference
No,
to
it
the
wouldn't,
flavour.
it wouldn't, yeah.
If you grind it, then you're getting full food value, because
Yeah.
your body can actually do something with
But
it.
even when you chew it yourself, doesn't it grind it enough? No, you've got to actually put it through a blender or a whiz, which you could easily have done. I could have done that. That would have increased the food value and not altered the taste at all. Yeah. So that's another wee thing.
So you can, and for some of you who know us regularly, you'll know that grinding your linseed is a better option. So grind your linseed.
Good.
Food value.
So here I've got my baking tray and some baking paper. And what I'm going to do is just take half of this. I'm not going to put the whole lot on because the whole lot is too much. So I'm going to put half of it onto here. The reason why you don't put the whole lot on is because it'll come too thick and then it doesn't cook in the middle. So you've got this sort of, hard dry bit on the outside and sort of all thick and uncooked on the inside. So it's good to have a bit of water just there and then just pat it down and then just, you got to have a wet hand and then just with your wet hand go like that, because if your hand's not wet, you'll find you've got little seedy hands covered in little seeds. So.
You've done well. Like if you only just discovered this recipe a week ago.
No, but I made it about 12 times here. But having said that, I tried
it on her husband.
Yeah, I did. And he said he didn't like them. And you had another one, and another one, and another one. So I don't know quite what was going on. My husband's a very conservative fellow. He's gorgeous. I love him to bits, but he's quite a conservative fellow. It takes a bit for him to adjust to something like this. So I'm just spreading this here out, and you can see I'm making it quite thin. I don't know if you can see how well you can see that, but it's amazing how it's sticking together.
Yeah.
And I'm just
remove that. Just
oh yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Thank you. So just spreading this here like this, and this is going to go in the oven at 170 degrees for about an hour actually, and then you put the other one on another tray, obviously. And it's a good idea to put them half an hour, one tray above the other, and then swap them round, so that they sort of get evenly cooked. So I'm just making a nice little rectangular shape here. Get my edge nice and square if I can.
You smell the laksa? Can anyone smell the laksa? We're so
sorry, not this time, not this month. Yeah, maybe
so,
soon, but not quite now.
We're sorry we can't give you the food tasting,
Yeah,
but this is as good as it gets.
Now our camera crew gets to taste it
At the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look at that.
They can be our testing agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, that looks fabulous.
So it's going to just go in the oven like that.
So it doesn't.
Gina,
Paper or anything.
Yeah.
Gina,
someone's
can
got
you
it.
just hold it up a wee bit so we can see how thick you've got it, please? Just so we can see the edge.
Can you see how thick that is?
Tap it this way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh,
Yep,
so
thank you.
what do you
Yeah.
reckon?
That's about half a centimetre.
Cool, thank you.
Half a centimetre thick.
5 millimeters.
Yeah. 5 mil.
5 mil.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
get out with your measuring
Your
stick.
little thingy. But yeah. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 170. But as it just so happens, I happen to have some already made, which I'll just show
There
you.
you go. Look, it's just being able to create this just like that.
So
Very good.
Here we have the finished product. So this has been baked today, and look at that, it's like gone all hard like that. The baking paper is
It
marvellous.
just comes off the baking
Yeah.
paper.
And then you just break it into pieces, like very rustic. It's not something that you would have to be
So we
perfectly
don't have squares and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And so you just break it
Rustically
all.
broken up.
Yeah. And but they're quite crunchy and munchy and yeah. One time when I was making this last week, I instead of using those flavourings, I put in tamari actually, but I didn't like it as much. It was I didn't like it as much. I thought it would be nice, but it was not as good. When I was talking with a friend of mine, Ruth, and she makes it and just uses, instead of those flavourings, she used Marcel's powder, and she actually put in more water, and she left it overnight, so that I guess the nuts would sort of get softened more, and then it'd be a softer eating experience, perhaps, something like that. Yeah, but really different. I was amazed at how, as I say, how it worked. I was, the chia and the linseed make something happen.
They bind it.
Yeah,
they pull it all together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The natural binding.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and full of nutrition.
Absolutely, just jam packed with all sorts of goodies.
So
yeah,
actually, that's your recipe.
done.
Okay, well, I'm thinking you want to go on and create the dip now.
Do you think so? You're still waiting for the Laksa knot?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Okay.
So we'll just have a wee clear off, and then Jenny can do her next recipe.
Right. Okay, well, so to go with the crackers, you can have anything, of course, and one thing that's really nice to go with crackers, of course, is guacamole, and you would have seen that perhaps in the newsletter, starting with avocados, which are, again, really good for you. And avocados are an unusual fruit, because most fruits have got lots of carbohydrates in them, but avocados don't have much carbohydrate at all, but they have a lot of fats, but good fats. Yeah, really, really different fruit. I was going to say something, I forgot what it was now, but I'm just looking at my notes over there. I can't do it without you telling that I'm looking carefully. But they've got 20 different vitamins and minerals in them. So really, really, really packed with all sorts of goodness.
Extremely fibre rich.
Yeah, that's right.
Extremely fibre rich.
Another good source of iron.
Food.
Yeah. And zinc. So really good against your immune system, which is what we want at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And B vitamins as well, which are quite sometimes quite hard to find. So,
and B vitamins are very helpful for us with managing our emotional health. Yeah. So it's depressive symptoms, along with the chia and linseed, all very good for managing your sense of wellness and coping with stress.
Yeah, right.
If you're on high stress levels, then you need to keep these foods boosted in your system.
And to top it all off, they taste fabulous.
Yeah.
So it's win all the way.
Yeah.
So when you buy, now I just thought I'd talk a bit about buying avocados, because sometimes people have trouble buying an avocado. When you buy an avocado, you want to look at one that's got no blemishes. My dear friend Christine is now going to take this and show you. Do not buy avocados that have got blemishes on them like that, for example. See that? Turn it around to Christine.
Do you recognise avocados like that when you look? Yeah. So
don't buy avocados like that. Okay, or like this that have got raised, but see how this one's got raised lump like that, and that they translate to brown hard threads through the fruit. So you don't want to get ones that have got like that. Or sometimes you get ones and they're very red. Look at that. You don't want to buy them when they're red like that. So the other, I don't know why that's red like that, if it's a sun scorch or what, but don't get ones like that. When you buy an avocado, you want to get one that looks like that. That's got no blemishes. That's got just do it like it's a revolving earth. That's right.
Perfect looking avocado.
No blemishes. And you can buy them like that. And even if they're really hard, I'd still buy them. And you just take them home, put them on the bench, and they will, over 2 or 3 days, they'll start to just get that slightly soft texture, and then they are.
And then they're good to go.
Yeah. So hopefully now I'm not going to make a complete fool of myself. But I think this is going to be a good avocado. I hope. We're about to find out. Okay, so I'm going to do a rubbish bin. Here it is here.
We've actually started sourcing a supply of avocados coming from the North Island.
We have indeed.
Yeah. So we're buying. Look at that. Perfect. Is she right? Or is she right?
So
how much would you be paying for one of those?
$1.49 at the moment, but they vary. Sometimes they're sometimes they're a lot dearer than that. So this is going to go straight into the food processor. Hopefully this will peel nicely. This one's a bit not quite ripe enough. Yeah, I just peel the skin off.
Do you?
Sometimes it just falls off, but this one's not going to do it for me so well.
You want
Kira's desperately wanting to go get me a spoon.
Well,
she's going to give me a spoon. Sometimes it just peels off in one foul swoop, and unfortunately I can't give you that magnificent demonstration. But here we go. Look, it's just about here. There you go. Do you want to do that one? What?
I'll let you.
Okay, right. So we'll go like this.
You don't.
No,
sometimes I peel them for salad.
Sometimes I can look at that. Look at that. That is what you want, see? Sometimes it works like that.
But normally for guacamole, I'd use a softer one.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you see,
So that's
when I
perfect
went
for
yesterday,
salad.
I sort of thought, when I went to the supermarket, I was thinking, how am I going to get one that's going to be perfect for tomorrow at 7 o'clock? But they came up quite nice. So it's a bit hard to, it's hard to find one that was going to do the job perfectly for me, but it's not bad.
It's
not
going
bad.
really
It's
well.
not bad. But the key thing is that you've got one that hasn't got a whole lot of brown through it or splotches through it or hard bits. Sometimes you can, when you're feeling an avocado too, sometimes you can feel that there's a gap between the skin and the fruit. You never buy one like that either. Do you know what I mean? Do you know that? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
You're
yeah.
totally overripe.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually rotten.
Yeah, that's right. So here we go. This one here. This one's going to be similar to the other one, but I'm
They're
pretty sure.
beautiful avocados.
Yeah, but they were.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, this one's a bit brown. This one. Oops.
For guacamole, it doesn't matter.
Probably right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for salads, it matters
Yeah.
because
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
guacamole. That's when I start making the guacamoles. When my avocados are getting too soft.
Right. Oh, right. Look at that one.
Yeah.
It's coming off magnificently. Oh, this one. Yeah,
She's
that's really
doing
exciting. Yeah. But yeah, I know Jamie Olive always likes to use a spoon, but I feel like this way's better if you can get the skin to come off in one bit. But
My
I haven't
goodness,
wasted
you might have to
much.
give them some tips.
to get them down under. Oh, look at that one. That's really nice. There we go.
Tips from down under.
Yeah. Here we go. So look, pretty straightforward. Here we go.
That's great.
Nice. Okay, now I just want to wipe my hands. And what I'm
I'll
going to
take
do.
that out of your way.
Yes, please. No, just pop it actually just here because I still need to put some.
Okay.
That's right.
Cool.
So now I'm going to put in.
Can everyone see?
Can everyone see?
Yes, thank you.
Good. So
Yeah.
half a lemon going in now.
Half a lemon.
Just half.
Sorry, the juice of half a lemon. Sorry. So who's got one of these things? These are absolutely the best things for dealing with lemon juice. So
Yep.
there's holes there. So that.
Otherwise, just your standard.
But this is fast and painless. Look at that. Wonderful. And I always like to put in here first because sometimes a seed sneaks through and I can see one in there. And you don't want to get a seed in there because a seed is bitter. The seed is.
Well, that's the blessing of those.
Yeah, but it's still one snuck through. You see, I didn't put it straight in. Look at that. There was a seed. Look. Seed. Can you see that?
I did it just go.
But that's the difference between doing it beautifully and doing it nicely. Okay. So the one halfway in there. That's it. Now I'm going to put in just a little bit of salt. Oh, she's come back.
That's all right. I love salty food. But she's quite thick on salt.
I'm a bit of a salty girl, but anyway. Okay, so now the last ingredient, the good old beautiful garlic. Yep, yes, thank you, dear. I every year I put in June. I put about 100 of these in the ground. Can you see that? 100 of those in the ground, and in December. Each one of those is turned into about 20. I mean, it's wonderful, isn't it? It's not hard. It's just fabulous. So
when do you plant them?
The shortest day.
Shortest day.
Yeah. So it's coming up soon. I'll be putting them in the ground. The ground's ready. They're waiting for them. And some people just say, put them through the garlic crusher and stick them in. But I just feel it's such a waste. You lose a whole lot, eh? So I like to peel them and then put them through the garlic crusher. Even though it's going in the blender.
Yeah. I like
Yeah. Because it's just a waste otherwise. You waste too much. So it does take a little second longer, but I'd only put one in for this. Normally, I'm usually saying 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of garlic, but for guacamole, I just like one good sized one like that.
And then again, that depends on what you your flavour.
Well, I suppose what you like. Yeah.
Well, if you want it really garlicky, but then you probably find most people were running away from it.
I think it's very good for social distancing when you put together.
It looks funny from a distance, though.
Yeah, so that's going in there. That's all it is.
I used to go to school with a girl who ate garlic sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
and she just reeked of it.
she
I
did.
couldn't get anywhere near it.
Yeah, I know.
But
But if everyone eats it, nobody smells it.
That's
Yeah. But back in
But
those
I mean,
days,
she would have been super healthy.
100%. Yeah. But back in those days, it would have been unusual, eh? Like, you might get away
I
with
didn't
it.
even know what garlic was in
No,
those days.
really?
Yeah.
So what
My
nationality
mother
was
never
she?
used it.
Was she like from
She
European?
was a Kiwi.
Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
maybe there was Dutch there. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's all going to go in there now.
Now she's going to make a noise.
No, I'm going to make lots of noise. So here we go. Oh, yes, please.
Could you do that in a bullet, Gina? Gina? Gina, could you make that in a bullet?
I wouldn't do it in the bullet, no. Why wouldn't I do it in the bullet? I don't know.
I just don't think it would blend that well.
Don't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Why wouldn't I do this in the bullet?
You could try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and let us know, Gina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, but just get those sides down and give it another whirl. And away we go. Nice and creamy.
Beautiful.
Yum.
Sweet. Smells nice. Yeah. So it's very simple, isn't it? There's not many ingredients in that.
And there's all sorts of variations you can do with,
That's right. Yeah.
like I love putting red onion and fresh chopped tomato in.
Yeah.
With
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful. Yum.
I had this
basil
last.
in it. Yeah, basil in it.
Oh, really?
Basil.
Oh, basil.
yes, definitely
Wow.
basil. Yeah.
Last week when I was making thousands of those biscuits, I had this and some of those biscuits and salad, and it was a beautiful lunch.
Oh, you just
Absolutely
want
beautiful.
to eat
Yeah,
and eat
yeah,
and
yeah,
eat, wouldn't you?
yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah.
So there's Gina's
Very simple, eh?
guacamole.
4 ingredients: avocado, lemon, garlic, salt. That's it.
And
Nothing
all
more, nothing
the
less.
excellent nutrition.
Yeah.
Fibre,
Yeah.
protein, potassium.
This is an excellent food processor. Now, some of them have sort of struts on the inside, so when you wipe, you can't do a nice big clean like that because there's little grips in the way. But this is a really good one.
This
Imagine
food
that.
processor
Yeah,
is
yeah.
worth $1,000.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's a commercial one.
You get what
It
you
is.
pay for, don't you?
It's $1,000.
Oh, neat.
It's a dream to work
It
with.
is a dream to work with.
Yeah.
And the blade is close to the
Wow.
bottom, so that you haven't got sort of that much gap that you miss.
No,
you
no,
know.
it's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great
Yeah,
machine.
But if you want to do this with your Joe average food processor, you do need to use 2 avocados because one doesn't make enough, and there's too much of a gap between the bottom, and you get non-blended. You know what I
So
mean?
you could try the bullet, but I'm just
True. Yeah. Be interested to see how you go, Gina. You have a go at it and tell me how.
Yeah, well, I will have a go.
Yeah, yeah.
give it a go.
Yeah. Just be careful, don't over. Maybe don't over.
Okay, yeah.
And a hand blender, probably not. No, it wouldn't be
Yeah.
as good.
So that you can go in the fridge, and that'll keep for 2 or 3 days, probably. All good to go. There you go.
Great.
Okay.
2 or 3 days, that's if you don't eat it. in
Yeah, well,
one
it doesn't,
sitting.
doesn't last that long usually.
Especially with your lovely crackers.
That's right. Very good.
Okay, so the next one, my little pumpkin matzo is just simmering away nicely and pretty much done. But so now I'm going to add some tofu to it. So that I just want to demonstrate what I'm doing with tofu. So I have frozen this tofu overnight. So who's familiar with who's buying tofu like this? Do any of you have seen tofu in these packs? Elizabeth is?
No.
Yeah, Jenny is. Jenny, we've got 2 Jennies on tonight. Jenny White. I buy this tofu. Where do you buy tofu, Jenny? Jenny White?
Yeah, usually from the supermarket.
Yeah, so it's a lot dearer there, but if you are an Oxford,
Yeah.
that's your only option, so that's
Yeah.
fine. But you would use 2 blocks or 600 grams. But if you're in the city, it's very cheap to buy. This is probably about $3 worth. Tofu has got amazing food value. The soybean is an amazing bean. So
Is that from Greater Foods?
So this is, I go to the China market at Church Corner here in Riccarton, Upper Riccarton.
Oh, right.
There's Sun Song, which is right next door. There's like, I don't know if any of you, if this is We're actually at pretty much Church Corner here at Island. But I've been buying from there for years. But there's a lot of Chinese shops and they all have tofu. So you can buy it in these packs, but you can also get for about $3.
Wow, that's cheap.
This pack of, which is it's got 8 blocks in it, and you'll pay no more than $7.50 for that.
Wow. Is there anywhere in Rangiora you can get it then?
I'm not sure about Rangiora, but is there Asian shops in Rangiora? Have you got an Asian supermarket there?
It's closed.
Oh, they use no. So you probably just come into the city. But Papa Nui also have Costco, and they sell
Yes.
Papa Nui. Do you know Costco? Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but that's like, so then what I do is I take 2 blocks out and I freeze them like in these packs. And for this recipe, you need to have frozen your tofu first. So when I buy it like this. I break it down into blocks of 2. I chuck it in the freezer, and you drain it like they're sitting in water. So you drain all the water off before you freeze it. And then I'll pop that back in the fridge now. I'll show you the one. So this has been all drained and frozen, but once it's thawed, there's a whole lot more liquid that is that's in it after it's been frozen. So you just get a chucks cloth or a cheesecloth. For me, it's chucks cloth, and just pop the tofu in there, and then wring out the water. Look at that. It's all coming out. Can you see? So that's even after it's been drained and thawed, there's still a lot of liquid there. So I'm going to do the other one, and in the meantime, I'm going to put my my pan on because, I just need a wee spatula. So I'll just do the other one. So it's just a matter of wringing out your surplus water. No, fish slice.
Fish slice.
Yeah. Sorry. I did not use the right word. So once it's frozen, are you familiar with frozen tofu at all? Have you used it? It takes on a whole different texture, doesn't it, Gina?
Yeah, much more fleshy texture.
Yeah, so it's more like a, what would you say, chicken?
Yeah, some people could call it that. Yeah.
Not that we're wanting to replicate chicken. There we go. But it's meaty. Yeah, that's what I want to say. So now I'm going to, Gina, I need a plastic one of those, not a metal one. Sorry. Now I'm just going to cube it. Thank you. Just cube like that. It stays together. Like you couldn't actually do this with soft tofu. Well, the tofu that you're buying, Jenny, at the supermarket, you probably can. But this tofu, if you tried to cube it, it would be all sort of jelly-like, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just going to throw a dash. This is my only bit of oil that I'm using in this recipe, which is another. And seriously, it's just a little splash and a dash in the bottom of the pan to, and I can put both of these in here, and I'm just going to lightly fry them. It honestly takes no more than a couple of 3 minutes to do. So you just lightly brown them, and if you're using a non-stick pan, which I am, they just fry nicely. They just brown up nicely. So I'll just let that happen. But Gina, tell us what you do with your tofu.
Well, what I do is I usually cut it into cubes and wash it and then marinate it. It's nice to marinate in micells, so you put in a sort of casserole dish, you'll put maybe a tablespoon of micelles powder. The chicken one's, I think, is the nicest one, and maybe a cup of water. And it's nice to put in a dash of smoked hickory water. I don't know if you've seen it in the supermarket, but it gives a fabulous flavour to tofu. And maybe 3 drops of sesame oil. So that's your marinade. So you leave the tofu in that overnight, and then the next day you just take it out of the water and just shake it dry a bit. Then coat it in flour and then fry it. And we had that for tea tonight. It was
Really nice, really nice.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to pal around, I mean, this is a great recipe. And once this is just browned up a little bit, then it just goes into the pan, which I'll show you in a minute.
Gina, can you tell us what the liquid was that you said you bought? What did you buy? The smoked?
So it's called smoked hickory water. And you can also have smoked maple water. What it is actually they have hickory sticks or maple sticks, and they burn them so that they're when they're green, so that smoke comes off them, and they sort of get that smoke and sort of diffuse that into the water, and that water is like an essence. And it's beautiful to use in flavouring all sorts of things.
So that's a liquid smoke.
It's liquid smoke.
Liquid smoke.
Yeah. So you put it.
And so when
and you would use in that marinade, you would use a quarter of a teaspoon, even an eighth of a teaspoon, like a tiny amount.
wow.
You could still flavour it though, couldn't you? You could still taste it. You need the smallest amount. It's quite dear. A bottle like that's about $15, but you use 3 drops at a time, so it lasts you a year. So it's not that bad.
and so where did you get it from? Where did you get it from?
That's an in and you had it.
Then in Rangiora.
So
Thank you.
I'm just popping the tofu in there. You can use more if you want to. I would usually use 4 blocks in one of these dishes. I'm a tofu addict actually. I love the stuff. If we go out, as long as I've got tofu in the meal, I'm happy. So this actually has not thickened up that much, but what you can do is you can thicken it with corn flour if you like, or if you just like it can be a soupy option, or you can put it over a bed of rice. So to finish on this, I'm just letting it simmer for a bit more, and the tofu just takes up the flavour. It's really nice.
Would it be nicer the next day, do you think?
Well, I don't think so.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's any nicer.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it, but some do say that a stew tastes nicer the next day.
Well, the tofu would take on more of the flavour, would it?
Yeah, but it absorbs very well the flavour. It's nice. So into this, I'm going to add some fresh. On the recipe, I didn't say spring onions, but I thought, well, I've already got onions and garlic and ginger in there. I'm going to add some spinach leaves now. So they just go on straight at the end, just like so. They're still pretty much fresh. And then just to top it off, like that's just looking really good there. You can put some broccoli or cauliflower. It really doesn't matter, whatever veggies you've got. The amazing thing that I have found from starting with my cooking experience years ago, when I left home, I could only boil eggs and make marshmallows. That's all I could do. So,
Not such a bad guy.
my cooking journey has it's gone on all sorts of twists and but it's funny because the first night I connected with Gordon, and we'd been out somewhere and I invited him in for some supper, and I didn't know what to cook him. I ended up just cooking up some boiled eggs. I thought, why not make an omelette? Afterwards I thought about that, but I might have been nervous. No salt.
No
Guess
salt.
what, Gina? No salt.
That's pretty amazing.
So I'm just now going to, except, you know what, we should have washed this.
You want me to wash it?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll send you up. So I've just got a lovely handful of coriander, fresh coriander, which is just going to go right in. If you're the coriander people, it's a beautiful topping for this dish. So we'll just slice some of that up, and then that would simply be dished up on a lovely bed of rice or a bed of noodles, and that way it would be a laksa. It's just a very easy dish, really, 20 minutes and you're done. And you've got good nutrition, and I'll just turn that off because we don't want to bubble it too much further. So it's just the topping. The other thing you can do, which is what I've done the next day, but is I've just, if I've had some left over, and I can add chickpeas or something to it, or you could actually put chickpeas in it just right here, which would up your fibre value and your but your protein is protein laden with the tofu and your greens and all the other things. So I'm heavy-handed on coriander. I don't know how you girls feel about it, but it's certainly one of my faves. What about you, Gina?
I love it, absolutely.
Love it.
It's hard to grow though. It's hard to grow because I find it grows and then it's just looking like ready, almost going to be ready tomorrow, and you turn around and look and it's gone to seed. Like it's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one time I had a coriander plant that went to seed, and it dropped seeds all around it. And when all those seeds came up, I had a whole lot there, and I actually got quite a good use of it that way. Letting a plant go to seed and then getting the babies that come up afterwards. I found that was quite successful by accident, but it still worked.
So there you go. That would be plated up on a bed of rice or a bed of pasta, rice noodles, whatever.
Oh well, then you're right. Then you've got your Laksa.
Because you've got your Laksa, you've got your moisture. 20 minutes, and I mean, if you've got pumpkins in the garden or they're cheap at this time. We didn't talk about the food value in pumpkin tonight, but I just want to tell you it's loaded with potassium, loaded with calcium, loaded with magnesium. Yeah.
So magnesium also fights depression, doesn't it?
Yeah, also very good for depressive symptoms. And it involves 100 different chemical reactions in the body. That's magnesium.
Yeah. Magnesium, yeah.
Yeah.
And also benefiting type 2 diabetes.
There you go. So the pumpkin is a wonder food.
And not too dear to buy.
No, and it's funny because it comes in just pre-winter. So like our bodies can get that good immune boost that they need from the nutrition. Like everything we've done here tonight is super immune boosting. Thank you.
It is.
And we'll keep you healthy, fit and healthy. So